As I'm shocked to find that there was that politics was injected into the hiring process at the Justice Department.
Well, here's the amusing part, and then there'll be an angry part. So this will be fun. You look forward to both. The amusing part is how they figured out who was liberal and who was conservative. And what the law that they broke, so you're clear on it, is that you're not supposed to look to see if somebody's a Republican or a Democrat when you're hiring at the Justice Department. Not at the political levels, but at the levels below that where you're hiring the actual attorneys to do justice.
People who will stay through different presidents. I mean, it's not like when a new president, in case people don't understand, a Republican president comes in, they generally change, as George Bush we learned, change U.S. attorneys. In fact, Bush changes them willy-nilly if they're not meeting if they're not doing what he considers to be politically expedient work. But I mean, there are hundreds, thousands, I presume, of lawyers in the Justice Department all over the country prosecuting antitrust cases, prosecuting drug murders, of which there may be where there's federal jurisdiction. Those guys stay; they keep their jobs. To say nothing of policy people and significant positions that are short of who aren't lawyers.
All right, so how did they figure out who the Democrats were and who the liberals were to try to weed them out illegally?
Facial hair, basically. That's how they want it.
Actually, they did judge based on appearance.
Yeah, no, I know.
They partly judged on appearance. They also they looked at their resumes and looked for buzzwords or leftist commentary. Leftist commentary, okay? So here are some of the buzzwords that got you in trouble at the Justice Department. If you use the word environmental. We got a liberal on our hands. Cares about the environment. But here's my favorite. If you had the words social justice on your resume, the Justice Department was not interested.
Right, social justice. I actually liked environmental more because I like it that another whole wing of the federal government, of the executive branch, is called the Environmental Protection Agency. So I thought, what if somebody from the EPA wanted to get a job at the Justice Department, and what if they were a crazy conservative? They'd be out because they'd have to say, I worked at the Protection Agency. They'd be like, the what? They'd be like, the Protection Agency. Protection Agency. And they're out.
It had the buzzword. Sounds like a leftist to me with this whole environmental stuff. All right, so now here are the other things that disqualified you pretty much. Organizations like the American Constitution Society. Oh, that's what cares about the Constitution.
Constitution, Federalist Society. Come on in. You're in.
See, here's where they would have fucked up. Me. Because I had Federalist Society on my resume. They let me in. Right. I'm like, oops. Wrong move. And then Greenpeace. Oh, Greenpeace. That's a good one. That's a good one. Get the hell out of here. They were especially concerned about these hires on the civil side. You know, there's a criminal side to the Justice Department and a civil side to the Justice Department. The civil side is the one that's supposed to care about, for example, civil rights. And so if you were concerned about social justice and you logically applied to the Civil Rights Division of the Justice Department, they made sure to try to get you to not hire you. They're like, those are the ones we got to be concerned about, the ones that are actually trying to do something about civil rights and justice in this country. Finally, to give you a sense of the scope here, and by the way, they've identified several people who were actually on that committee that chose who made it in and who didn't, and were political. Michael Elston, and he's now
he's now starting his sophomore year at Rutgers.
No, at Regent University.
University of Phoenix.
Right. And Esther Slater McDonald. By the way, they're not in the Justice Department anymore. I'll get to what happened with them in a second. But here are the numbers, okay? Of the 911 students who applied for full-time honors jobs in the year 2002.
These are interns, right?
Yes. These are from some of the top law schools in the country, right? Because these Justice Department jobs are terrific jobs in the legal community. 100 were identified as liberal. Shockingly enough, 80 of those were rejected, an 80% rejection rate, okay? By comparison, 46 were identified as conservatives. Of the 46 identified as conservatives, 42 made it in.
That's a lucky break.
It's interesting how they have about a 90% clearance rate, and the liberals
have
a
little better than 90%. Liberals have 20%.
20%.
Yeah, but 91 to 20.
By the way, so the laws were broken. Is anything going to be done about it?
Definitely.
That brings us back to Michael Elston. They're like, well, he's not at the Justice Department anymore, and all those people are already hired, and we can't fire them, and there's sleeper cells within the Justice Department for decades to come. Enjoy. No one will get punished. There'll be no case pursued whatsoever by the Justice Department.
We need the Senate to give immunity to Michael Elston.
Yes, please. Immunize Elston. That's our next cause. It seems to be probably will be the next Democratic cause.